Hi everyone. This is the video about research part two. I'm going to start a little bit by talking about central questions and then I'll move into the research part of it. So just as a reminder, a central question is on the right track if it moves beyond my image. So for example, I am doing the painting of Emmett Till. It was Emmett Till in his casket, and it was painted by a white woman and put up at the Whitney Museum in New York. And but I'm not going to be asking a central question about Emmett Till or about that painting. I'm going to look for something bigger. Another example is if you are for your topic, perhaps you're doing the one of the Colin Kaepernick images, either him taking a knee or the Nike ad. Your question will not ask about Colin Kaepernick or even about whether athletes should or shouldn't take a knee during the national anthem. It'll be a broader question that more people can participate in. Um, your your central question should be broad in scope. That means that it should be something where you could think of a lot of examples across um, a lot of different parts of society, and it should get at least one of the following: power, control, or ownership of something important; isms, racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, ableism, among others; and rejection or acceptance of a group by a larger group. So in my image, I was wondering why some minority groups felt upset when white artists worked from a minority perspective. Um, and as I thought about that, trying to get at these questions of power, or control, or ownership, or isms, or acceptance, or rejection, I started thinking that many groups may feel that their own histories have been co opted by dominant culture, and that to then have a white artist or somebody from the majority culture take on a piece of that history as if it were their own may rekindle some of that anxiety. So, considering all that, I came up with four possible central questions, and some of these might be my main question, some of them might be my main question, and then the others will be things that I want to address that are related. But I asked four questions that I'm going to use as the basis for my research. What does it mean to own history? How is history created? And I don't mean like the events, I mean the writing of that history. How is the narrative of history shaped? And who owns history? So these questions are all very similar and very related, but those are the ones that I came up with. So first I'm going to do, like you probably would do, which is I'm just going to do a Google search, and I just wrote who owns history. I put owns in little quotes, like air quotes. And look, a lot of stuff pops up. This is a question that's very current today. People want to know who owns history. I see a good article here, Think Tank Who Owns History by PBS. Um, so that might be something that I click on here. See what happens here. Well, this is interesting. Um, they've got this looks like it's about it's got some maybe an interview with some people here. This might be really good. And I noticed right away that Eric Foner is listed in here as one of the guests in this program. And I noticed in my original search that he wrote a book about who owns history, and that popped up. So I think this is going to be good because I think he's probably a good source. Um, and I could read the full transcript here. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to show you another term that I thought of and tried to put in Google, which is about reclaiming narratives. If one search term isn't working, try something else. It could be that the way you are talking about it isn't the way that people talk about it when they want to try to find an answer on the internet. And I can always help you with that too. I can help you try some different terms. I can help you think of some different terms to try. So this one says reclaiming narratives. And interesting. I'm just looking, reclaiming our stories, narratives of identity, resilience. That's interesting. Meaning of reclaiming the narrative. 4 steps to reclaiming the narrative. That's interesting. Um, I'm just looking through here to see decolonizing creation processes by reclaiming narratives. That sounds really interesting. I might click on that, see what that is. Oh, I don't know what this is. I don't know who these people are, but I'm curious. So this might be something that I look at. And this is a good time to remind you that when you do research, probably 2/3 of what you look at isn't going to be useful. But you're looking, and that's part of the process, that's part of the research, and it is good. I don't expect all your time to be just spent in reading the articles that work. So I don't know anything about this article. I don't know if it works or not. I'm just looking through. I don't know who these people are, and that'll be important to me as I decide whether this is a credible source or not. But right now, I would probably just bookmark it and I could come back to it later. So that's how you're going to do a Google search. There are also our library databases, which are, to be honest, are harder to use. Sometimes it yields even more frustrating results. For example, I put in something about ownership of history and I get lots of um, weird stuff like contact with livestock, innovative salt mining method pays big dividends, fringe benefits. So sometimes you might find something and we haven't found anything. Here's histories of shared ownership. That is not what I'm talking about here. I feel like in this case that my search term is probably wrong. So I'm going to put in art and um, identity. That might be something that works. Let's just see what happens when I do it. Oh, I thought I did. Okay. That's annoying. Let's try this. I don't know. I don't know exactly what just happened, but I'm going to try this. What did I say? I said art and identity. Let's see what happens here. Search. Okay. Invisible geographies, absence, emergence, presence, and the fine art of identity construction, identity and imagination, art making and its interface with dissociative identity disorder. Some of these things are just too overburdening. In any case, though, you still want to look through because you might find something that really works. You might not also. So, okay. So anyway, that's two different ways to go about your search. Maybe the library will work, maybe it won't, but Google almost always will yield you something. The important thing is that you find a credible source. How do you know if it's credible? You can ask me about that. It can't just be some random blogger. It needs to be somebody who has some kind of credential that would make you feel comfortable hearing what they have to say about this topic. Okay, so that's a little bit of guidance for your research. Again, I'm here to help you. Sometimes it's easier just for me to hear you talking on the phone or in a Zoom or something like that than it is for me to give just blanket information when everybody has a different topic. But I hope this gives you a little bit of a start. Okay, have fun researching.